Welcome to ToJo Live.
Woo! Guys, today is going to be a rough day. I'm just saying. Y'all are on the wrong side. I can't deal with that. Hold on. Joe's silenced. Let me unsilence Joe.
I'm here.
Okay.
I'm here. It's
all right.
Joe,
I'm going to hide you because you're on the wrong side of the screen, and that's going to mess us up.
Okay.
Like, all our viewers are just going to like, oh my gosh, what's wrong? What's happening? Okay. Well, why is he not coming back? There he is.
I feel like a ping pong ball.
Woo! Sorry, guys. We're a little bit late, and that is 100% all Tommy's dumb computer.
Can I turn the volume up here?
No.
Over there or somewhere.
Here, talk, Joe.
I'm here. Can you hear me okay?
Yes,
all right, there we go. All right, guys, we're having a little bit of technical difficulties. As you can tell, we're a couple minutes late getting on, and we're trying to figure things out. But that's okay. We'll make the best of whatever situation comes our way. All right.
You threw your computer on the other side of your office. Look at this. This
I
is
didn't
crazy.
throw it. I just set it down.
Yeah. I'm ready to throw it. So.
Hey guys, we are glad to be here with you on another episode of ToJo Live. We are here to talk about your questions about life, faith, and the church. And we would love to have you come on screen with us. You can copy and paste the link that Tammy will eventually put in the chat box.
At some point, right?
And be able to come on screen with that.
There's Marianne.
Yes.
Marianne.
Hey, Marianne and Vinny. Good to see you guys on here. And then, obviously, any prayer requests that you may have, we'll take those as well, and we'll pray about them. If you're uncomfortable coming on screen, we always have the option of putting the questions or the prayer request in the chat box as well. Hey, guys, I want to do a memory verse here. Actually, let's do this. Let's change our format a little bit, because when we get into this stuff, I like talking a little bit, and then I feel like it's too late for introduction. So I'm going to turn it over to my good friend and partner here, Joe Cortale, to give a good warm ToJo welcome this evening.
Yeah, I see Marianne's on. I can't see who else is because I've only got a limited view here. But Tommy, it's great to be with you and Tammy as always. I love this. I know I missed a couple of weeks, but I'm back at it over here, and it's just good to be here. It really is actually great to be here. So thanks, brother. Appreciate it.
Well, it's good to have you, Joe. You definitely bring a higher quality to the show when you're here.
Thanks.
So we made it without you, but it wasn't as good. So we're glad that you're here.
Thanks, brother.
Hey guys, I want to start off here with a scripture verse. This comes from John 16:33. And Jesus is speaking here, and he says, I have told you these things, that in me you may have peace. In this world you will have trouble, but take heart. I have overcome the world. That is good news right there, because we do face trouble in this world. We have things that come our way and different things, and we deal with those struggles. Those are troubles in our lives that we have to deal with. It's a part of life. You know, when we become a Christian, it doesn't mean that all bad things disappear. But Jesus has overcome the world. He already has victory over those things. We're still going to experience them, but we can rest assured that they will not defeat us as long as we are in Jesus, because Jesus has overcome the world. And so that is good news.
Hey guys, I will tell you, this did not go out on the church website. It is on my personal Facebook page. So we've got two options. One, we can log out. Let me change the destination really quick, and we can come back on the church Facebook page. I will tell you, we've got 10 viewers. So, I don't know. But I've noticed we have a very different audience than usual. That could be a good thing, and it could be, I don't know, but it's not. I can share it from my Facebook page over to the church page. There we go. Okay. That's what I'll do.
There you go.
Yo, I'm sweating.
Now, will we still get comments from the Facebook?
I don't know. I can I can monitor comments on
Okay.
this computer, I think. I don't know. Y'all,
It's okay.
I know I'm stressing out.
Right? I mean, come on. Hey, Tommy, that verse is beautiful because you know what? It's there are challenges that everyone faces, and we talk about this during our prayer request, in our prayers each Sunday.
Yep.
That and it could be relational, it could be financial, it could be health problems. I know about those. Employment problems. We all go through that, and and sometimes, often those challenges are overwhelming. And it's difficult to face them by ourselves. But when you go to Jesus and you remember that he's overcome the world, and that with when we place those problems at his feet, put them in his capable hands. Look, man, it's happened to me so many times, and it allows me to sleep at night knowing that, I did everything I could do. Now it's in God's hands. And you know what? Yep. There's no better place for a problem to be than in God's hands.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That is beautiful, Joe. Look like we got Christina's found us.
Christine found us.
Hey.
Sonia found us. We've got Yusuf Uro watching you all the way from Kenya.
All right, Yusuf.
Awesome.
That is awesome. That is awesome. Welcome from Kenya.
Yeah.
Or welcome from the United States to Kenya. So, if you could just share it over there, hopefully people will be able to find us.
I'm sorry, guys. I really am trying here.
There you go. We got Margie on and Catherine Ann.
Yep.
Yep. I saw Catherine Ann earlier this week. Hi, Catherine Ann. Or
awesome.
I think in real life she just goes by Catherine, but because I only knew her on Facebook for so long, I just automatically call her Catherine. Kind of like Ann Fegley. Ann Fegley, I only met in person one time. One weekend that we were here, but I knew her on Facebook before we met her as Sarah Ann Fegley, and so ever since then, all my conversions with her, conversations with her have been with Sarah Ann, and so I call her Sarah Ann, and y'all don't know her as that.
All right.
I'm trying to pull us up on YouTube.
I see Chris Petrella just joined too. Hey, brother Chris.
Oh, Chris is back from his groove. Okay, hold on. I'm sorry. I'm totally forgetting. How do you get past the waiting period till the problem is resolved? This is Tracy Norris's question. That is a great question.
Tracy, great question. Love that question. How do you get past the waiting period till the problem is resolved? And sometimes that can be really tough. One of the things, I think there's several things that we could do, but one of the things to do is to remember this verse. Is because if you're familiar with the book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey, great book, by the way. I would encourage you to read it if you haven't read it. But one of the 7 habits is to begin with the end in mind. And so you begin with the end in mind. And so it helps you to get through those things. I do this when I'm working with coaching clients on their goals. One of the things that I encourage them to do with their goals is to write down the purpose for reaching this goal. What is the reason for reaching this goal? Because if you do not have a compelling reason, you're probably going to give up because it's going to be tough along the way. If you've got a health goal, if your goal is just to lose weight or whatever, you may not reach it. But if it's a goal like, man, I want to spend as many years as possible with my grandkids, well, that's a compelling reason for the goal, beginning with the end in mind. And so as you're going through the problems, this verse, John 16:33, can help us begin with the end in mind. Yes, we're going through problems. We're going through troubles. We're going through trials. But just refocus on the fact that Jesus has overcome the world. This, to use a baseball metaphor, this inning is not the game. You may have a bad inning. You may have an inning where you're not able to hit the ball, or you make some errors, or just things go wrong naturally. You may have a bad inning, or maybe even a bad inning or two. But that is not the game. The game's not over until you get to the end of the ninth inning. And if it's tied, you even get to go a little longer. But typically, it's the end of the ninth inning. So if you're in the third inning and you have a bad inning, it's okay. It's okay. You may need to make adjustments, learn from any problems that you may be going through. One of the great things that you could do with problems, especially problems that result from our own failures, which oftentimes we experience, right? I know I do. But if we learn from those, it's not really a failure. It's a learning experience. One person put it this way: failure is the opportunity to begin again more intelligently, because you've learned what doesn't work.
Tommy, I'm just going to jump in too, because those are just great points, what you just said. I think one of the things that, Tracy, to the question, how do you get past through the waiting period? Sometimes patience is really challenging. It really is. And, for me, there are often times throughout my life and continue where there are problems that I just can't resolve. And for a man who likes to fix it, I just have to realize that I just have to be patient. And the one thing that's allowed me to take solace is that I realize that every day that goes by, I'm a day closer to the problem being solved. And when I put my faith in Jesus and I lay the problem at his feet, it just helps me have peace. And this could be a loved one going through a challenge. My son who's in China is locked down and I don't know what's going to happen, but I just trust in God that it's going to work out. And, or I have a health problem or whatever it is, an employment problem. You just, it's tough. That's the hardest part is waiting. But I'll tell you, Tommy, back to that verse, when you realize that the big picture is we win. Jesus won.
Yeah.
It's all going to work out.
It will. I appreciate that, Joe. Some great words. And again, to use another analogy that I've often heard, don't judge the whole book by the page that you're on. We have problems that we go through. One of the things I often say in my messages on Sunday mornings is you're either going through something or you just went through something or you're getting ready to go through something. But it's always right there. But to know that Jesus has overcome those things. He has overcome the world, all the problems, all the trouble, all the strife that the world could pour on us. Jesus has overcome that. So yeah, Tracy says she loves that the analogy of the book. Listen, different analogies speak to different people. I'm a book person, but I'm also a baseball person, so both of them kind of speak to me. But yeah, and you can't judge a book. You've always heard you can't judge a book by the cover, and that's true. But you also can't judge the whole book by the page you're on either.
Even the chapter.
Even a chapter. Yeah, exactly. That is exactly right.
Because that's what our lives are. We just go through different chapters, and
right.
And to your point, you can't look at the whole book by just a chapter or a page. You have to realize the story is going to have a good ending. It's going to have a marvelous ending for those of us who believe and accept Jesus as our Lord and Savior.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The best chapter of the book is on the other side. Okay.
As Erica said, I'm late. I just got off work. Sorry.
That's all right. We're glad to have you on here.
We're just glad you're here.
We got a lot of people on here tonight.
We do. There's Sonia watching. Mary says, Joe, you are looking good. Are you getting any stronger?
Day by day, Margie. Thanks for asking. It's going to take a while. I had my post-op yesterday, and I told my surgeon, I'm still in pain. How long is that going to last? He said, well, give it another month. And I'm like, a month?
Oh.
And it's discomfort. It's not pain. And I'm one of these guys that don't like to take those pain pills. So I'm, taking Tylenols every 4 hours or 6 hours, and it's working out fine. But Margie, thank you so much for asking. And for everyone who prayed for me during the last couple of weeks, thank you. It worked.
Excellent.
Hey, Chris Petrella. He says, hi, all.
Yeah.
Everybody's in, and there's Lois.
He's back on the island with us.
All right. I don't, so because this posted to my page originally, any of the comments that I put up are not going to show up. So when we get to the trivia question, make sure you read it several times, because I'm not going to be able to type it and put it in there. Oh, can I do it from I can do it from my profile. Y'all, I got 2 computers and a phone and all 3 of them have open YouTube page and Facebook page and email. And so I'm trying my best, y'all. I'm trying my best.
Tammy, some of you may realize, especially if you're typically on here as soon as the show comes on at 6, that we've had some technical difficulties, and in the process of trying to resolve those technical difficulties, Tammy actually put this up on her Facebook page rather than the church Facebook page, and so we've got a little, I don't know how to explain it because I don't fully understand what's going on. I just know it's not the way it normally is.
The destination got messed up.
It's cross-pollination. That's what it is.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's not it. But okay, if that's but I will tell you, I do think I just figured out what caused the issue on your computer, Mr. Lanham. Just so y'all understand what I deal with when I come down here to get on ToJo, he had a number. Listen, I'm going to do my own trivia. I'm going to let y'all guess.
You don't get points for that.
I'm going to let y'all guess how many Chrome tabs do you think he had open? I'm going to give you a minute. I'm going to see how many. I want to see what people guess. How many tabs do you think that he had open on his internet browser before I came down to sit? And we're not going to even talk about how many Word documents you've got open, but we're only talking about the Chrome tabs. Y'all,
Chris Petrella said 15.
I was going to say 11 because, he was working hard on his sermon and he needs at least 11, maybe 15.
Go.
Okay.
This is hard research. This is
hard. You can't Google this, people. You can't Google this one. You gotta figure out.
We've got 11, a 15, a 20, a 25.
None of you have guessed yet. Oh, Lois said 25. Lois and Margie on the same page. No. Keep going. Keep guessing. Oh, I just want to, because I really wish I could see their faces. I wish I could see their faces. All right. Are you ready? Should I go ahead and give the answer? We've got 4 or 5 answers up there. All right. Are you ready?
Yeah.
I don't even know what the
You
number
ready?
is.
52. He had 52 tabs, and his Chrome had not been updated. It was flashing red in the corner for an update. That's why when I came in to do this, and
They're still
it blew
guessing.
up everything.
Chris
Look,
guessed 55.
55.
Margie
Chris
said
Petrella
35.
was the closest. So there you go. 52 tabs. Your computer can't run with that many tabs open. It cannot. It will drive everybody, including your wife, crazy. Can't do that. And I don't even know. Like, I have no idea. Look, that's what I'm gonna count next. I'm gonna see how many Word documents you have. Like, y'all want to take bets on the Word documents? Way to go, Tommy!
Woo! People get it.
Do not reward this, people. And then he complains about his computer running so low. Up until a few months ago, it was my computer and it was running just fine. Just saying. And by the way, I did run down the hallway to turn on our YouTube channel on the television for my mom. So Mama Squeaky is on and watching us. She's just not going to show up down here because she doesn't know how to work the computer. But she did squeal when she saw that you were not wearing a black shirt.
Oh, there you go.
Said, he's wearing a purple shirt.
Yeah, since she's been here and watching the show, she's like, oh, why do you always wear a black shirt? I don't even realize I always wear a black shirt. So I intentionally got a purple shirt tonight.
Best to update your PC right away. See? That's what I'm working on, Christine.
I don't even realize it's needing an update.
It's flashing red in the corner. How do you not see that?
I'm busy looking at all the tabs. I don't look at the corner.
That's it.
I'm not surprised.
Woo.
All right.
All right, guys. Here we are, 23 minutes in. We're going to do our quote. Here's our quote for the day. And this is unknown. I can't find the originator of this quote, but I love it. It says, the first step towards getting somewhere is to decide that you are not going to stay where you are. I love that. The first step towards getting somewhere is to decide that you are not going to stay where you are. Because you can't stay where you are and move forward at the same time. You can't get to second base if you're afraid to leave first base. You got to leave. And it's dangerous. You might get thrown out. You might get hit with the ball. You never know what's going to happen between first and second base. But it's worth it to get to second base, because if you don't get to second base, you can't get home. I'm on a baseball trip tonight for some reason. Basketball is over for me, so I'm on the baseball.
I was going to say, before you said you were a book man and a baseball man, and I was going to say, well, you used to be a college basketball man too, but that changed about a week.
That changed last Thursday.
Yeah, Tommy, I love that quote too. I remember one saying similar from a business standpoint. The only way to climb the corporate ladder is one step at a time.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing.
Or any ladder. Corporate ladder.
Any ladder.
Yeah, any ladder. You know, and I'll tell you what, if you look at it all at once, you could get overwhelmed. You know, how in the world am I going to do this? All these different quotes and analogies are making me think of other quotes and analogies.
I know what's coming here. We're going to talk about
You probably do, because it's very, very popular analogy. The question is, how do you eat an elephant?
There you go. There you go.
One bite at a time. There you go. You can't swallow that whole thing. You got to do it one bite at a time. So regardless of where you're going or how far you're going, it's one step at a time. But you can't get there if you don't leave where you are. I wrote a book called Never Settle for Here, because you're there is waiting for you.
Amen.
You have a there waiting for you, but you will never experience if you remain here. And so you got to make the decision to leave here. And it can be scary, but man, the journey is worth it.
Brother, you make a good point that it can be scary, because for so many people, change is scary. Change is difficult. And, you know, sometimes staying in your here is a lot more comfortable than venturing to there.
Yeah.
But
exactly.
you got to take the leap. You got to do it.
You got to. It's here's another analogy. You know, they say that the safest place for a boat is in the harbor, but that's not what boats were made for.
I like that.
Yep. It's safe. It's comfortable. Everything's going to be fine, but that's not what it's made for. It's made to go out on the waters, go out and adventure, and go out and do things, go out and have fun and have new experiences. It is safe in the harbor, but that's not what we are made for. We are made for so much more.
Amen.
I have a count on the Word documents. I'm just saying. The people just.
I don't think anybody's interested in that.
Does anybody want to know how many Word documents he has open? Leave a comment. Put it in the chat. Let me know. If anybody wants to know, I will tell you. And I think it's important. I think it's important that they know the practices of their pastor.
And every one of those Word documents shows the effort and hard work he puts in. So that's all I'm going to say.
There are Word documents open from his sermons 3 months ago.
He wants to make sure he doesn't say the same thing twice.
Exactly.
Look, Catherine Ann and Christine both are wanting to know. So are they the only ones that want to know? Do you want to know? Do y'all want to know? Well, let's see if they can guess this one. You think 52 was a lot of tabs. This is freaking blowing.
Lois Tubby said 121.
Not even close.
Is it more?
Come on, it can't be.
No
way.
Kidding.
No
I'm
way.
not even kidding. I'm not even kidding. It took me this long to count them.
You're pulling our Microsoft leg.
Let's see. Lois Tubby had a 121. 3 months worth. Yes, 3 months worth, Christine. So every time this computer locks up and shuts down, it auto recovers. So we've got all these
Chris
other
Petrella
records.
said 260.
He is the closest so far,
No way.
and it's not high enough yet. I'm gonna see. Do you see why he's going nuts, y'all? This is what drives me crazy. Look, Catherine Ann's laughing at us. You're close, Chris. You're close. Keep going. Keep going. And you wonder why
I think
you're
we've
putting
lost
it
our
on.
spiritual focus.
No, but we've gotten to make fun of you, so that is kind of awesome. Okay, so Christine is over. The Chris Petrella, you are the closest. It's 280. You have 280 Word documents open in your Microsoft Word right now. It is still up on
Not the right
screen.
amount of research, though. I would say that's a good number.
Joe,
There
you're
you
not
go.
helping. Stop.
I've probably got that many books on my desk where I constantly use them.
I'm sitting in the middle of his office with desks all around me, or with his desk all around me, and he's probably not exaggerating much on that one either. Yeah, Chris Petrella, 280. Yep.
I like to do my research.
Yeah.
All right. Are we ready for the real trivia of the day?
I don't know. I got to figure out which computer or phone to post the trivia question on. Hold on.
Did I give you the paper?
I don't know. Did you give me the paper?
I think I did.
Is that one? What's the question? That one? Oh, yep, I got it. All right, I know. Oh, this one ought to be easy.
This
All
one
right.
will probably be quick. So probably the quickest fingers will get this one.
Okay. All right.
Are
I'm
you ready?
I don't know what the delay is like on this. Yeah. All right, go. As
Now,
soon as you start
do you
reading.
got it set up where you can get the first person up?
Oh crap! Which one are we going to go with? Here or that? We're going to go with what we normally go with. So let's go with this computer here, the one that we're broadcasting from, because I've got two more monitors that I normally don't have here.
Okay.
So yeah, we'll go with that one. Oh, hey, Glen Cove neighbors!
Hey, Glen Cove neighbors!
Thanks for joining us tonight.
Now, it does have a little time signature out from it, but it's within the minute.
Yeah, and it doesn't help with.
All right, here's a question. I'll let Tammy figure out who does it first, and if you all disagree,
no, don't throw that on me.
you can make her open up a bunch of Microsoft Word tabs.
But see, I close them down when I'm done. I'm just saying.
When I'm done, I close them down too.
You're
I'm
still
just not
working
done.
on sermons from 3 months ago?
I am.
Oh!
I felt like I can make it better.
All right, I'm ready for the question.
All right, here's the question. How many books are in the Pentateuch? How many books are in the Pentateuch? A month or so ago, we talked about the different sections of the Bible. One of those sections is called the Pentateuch. It's one of the sections in the Old Testament, and there's a grouping of books within each one of these. You've got and Chris Petrella has the correct
I was
answer.
going to say, he showed up on this computer first. I wondered if he would show up over here first.
Yeah,
he did.
and then Lois Tubby came right in behind him.
Oh, yay. Good job, guys. Ooh, where's that? Hold on. I got my tally book over here somewhere.
Now, there's a reason that one was a little easier, with probably a few reasons. But one reason is because it's called the Pentateuch. And Pent means 5. All right. There's another word in the New Testament that it doesn't necessarily mean 5. It means 50, but it's in connection with the 5. And it's anybody know what that word is? It begins with pent, and it means 50.
Do I know this?
I just asked this to the youth yesterday.
Yeah.
You were in the room.
Because your Facebook page, the text came up before Tommy spoke. Did it really? So the question came up before you asked it?
See, if you weren't so concerned about my open tabs.
Would you hush? Yeah, but it's fascinating. I don't know that anybody has ever had that much open on their computer ever. You might have set a record.
Anybody want to guess? This is not for extra points, by the way, but just a guess. Another word that begins with pent. But it's actually referring to 50 instead of 5.
Can I Google it?
If you want to Google it.
I should Google it.
Do.
I don't know how to Google that. What word is 50
I'll give you a hint. It took place in Acts chapter 2.
Oh, I know. Does that count? I didn't know it beforehand. Do you know it, Joe? Joe knows it.
I don't know it. I was just going to point out that when you think of the word pent, you think of the pentagon, which is a 5-sided.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Or a pentagon itself is 5-sided.
Right. Yep. Exactly.
Pentecost.
In Acts chapter 2, we have the day of Pentecost, which is 50 days after Passover. And so that's why it's referred to as Pentecost, which is where Peter stood up in Acts chapter 2 and preached the first gospel message that led 3,000 people to follow Jesus. So it's a pretty powerful chapter. It's where the gift of the Holy Spirit came upon the apostles and they spoke. Chris Petrella said Pentecost. Yep. That is correct. So Chris got the actual 5.
Yeah, for time's sake. I'm not going to read all the points that everybody has. I'm just going to read the top ones.
All right,
okay.
Give us the top.
So the top ones right now, tonight, Chris Petrella took the lead with 6.
Ooh.
Mary Ann and Vinny have 5.
Now hold on. I got to discuss them in a minute, so remind me.
Okay. Mary Ann and Vinny have 5. Chris Klingon has 4. Mark Hendricks has 3. So we're going to do the top one. Where is Mark tonight?
Mark's is doing some stuff with his church right now, and he said it would be a while before he's able to get back on.
Okay. So. But is he good? He's good. Does he watch us after the fact?
I don't know.
Hi, Mark. We miss you. Just in case he's watching.
If you watch us afterwards, Mark, hello. Catherine Ann said she was going to say Pentecost. Yeah, that is the correct answer for that.
She actually said I was going to stab that. I'm glad she came back and clarified I was going to say that.
Hey, last week the question was, what is the 4-letter spelling of the personal name for God? And the correct answer was YHWH. And somebody, it was Marianne and Vinny answered YHVH. And then right after that, I think it was Chris that answered YHWH. And I told her I would look that up because that may be accurate, the YHVH, because with the English language, the V's and the W's are at one time were not necessarily distinct in that. And so that may have been an accurate spelling as well. And I went back and researched it, and it is. Both are considered accurate spellings of that. And so we are going to give Marianne and Vinny a point from last week as well.
Oh, that means Chris Petrella and Marianne and Vinny.
That means they are tied. So
at 6, and the winner gets 7.
The one that gets the 7 first is the winner.
Ooh.
So there you go, Marianne and Vinny. I researched it like I said I would, and that is accurate. Probably it's one of those situations where either spelling is accepted. The one that is mostly used is YHWH, but YHVH is also considered correct. So, yes, the Pentateuch are the first 5 books of the Old Testament, and that consists of Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy.
Chris wants to know, can he still play after his second 7?
Absolutely. You just got to start over.
Yeah, he got a 7.
He's got a 7. Chris Petrella and Chris Klingon have been our 2 winners. If Chris gets it next week, he will be our first repeat winner. So, and we're going to keep these records in like 50 years. We're going to go back and look at all these. I'll be 100. We'll have to do it on my birthday because I'm taking myself out with donuts and ice cream on my 100th birthday.
I'll be looking down on you saying, you go, buddy.
There you go. There you go. Hey guys, one of the questions that we have received is this. When God says, let's create them in our own image, how did he think up the idea to make a woman? Because woman definitely does not look like a man. And all the men say, thank God for that. Okay. So how did he create woman in his image? And of course, the what she's referring to in that question comes from the book of Genesis. We see it in chapter 1 and in chapter 5. I'm going to read from chapter 1, verse 27. It says, so God created mankind in his image. In the image of God, he created them. Male and female, he created them. Probably when it's referencing creation, being created in God's image, there's a couple of things that could mean. It could mean that we are created in the image that God exists in. And so we could kind of look at ourselves and say, okay, this is something like what God may look. There's also to look at it from the sense of God got an image in his head to create us, and he created us in that image. It doesn't necessarily mean that it reflects what he looks like. Or there is a third option with that. It could mean that being created in the image of God goes deeper than just physical appearance. For instance, out of all of God's creation, we have a more defined moral code within us naturally than other creations. That is very flawed, obviously, because of the fall. But the way that we live out morality, the way that we have a spiritual connection, in that the way that our emotions are much more intense than those of just an animal. I'm not saying animals do not have emotions. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. I don't know. I'm not an animal psychologist. I would tend to believe that they do to some extent, but not to the extent that we do as humans. And things like that could be what is meant by God creating us in his image, or it could be a combination of all three of those in regards to that. Understand this, that even if it is referring to our physical appearance, it would not necessarily take into effect the differences between men and women, because realize that even though oftentimes God is referred to as masculine in the scriptures, understand that God is not human, nor is he sexual. And so some of those differences would not come into play as far as being created in the image of God, even if what is meant by that is our physical image. Because even though there are distinct differences between men and women, obviously we have a lot of similarities as well. And maybe it's those similarities that reflect the image of God more so than the gender differences that we have between us. So, any comment on that, Joe?
No, I mean, when you said the gender differences between us, I thought about what's going on in college sports and with I think in the state of Florida, the governor just announced that the woman that came in second place in one of the recent college swimming races there is now declared the winner, because the person that came in first place was a biological male that identified himself as a woman.
Yeah.
So whenever I just hear like gender, it just affects me in a different way lately.
Yeah. Yep. So
yeah, that's a whole nother ToJo.
That's a whole nother discussion. But as far as the image of God, just because some of us are male and some of us are female, doesn't necessarily mean that it's two images of God, or that one is creating the image of God and the other is not. Doesn't necessarily mean either one of those, because when God created us in his image, realize that God is neither human nor sexual in nature. So those distinctions between us wouldn't necessarily come into play when it's referring to Jesus creating us in his image. So
there you go.
Hey guys, I want to show you something that I got the other day. One of my favorite stores, probably my favorite store that I have discovered since getting on Long Island, is a thrift store called Unique. I love that store. I've been to a couple of them. There may be more on the island. I know of at least two. But our favorite one is probably in Levittown. And it's like a 3-story Unique thrift store. And it's just, we get some wonderful stuff there. But here's something I found there earlier this week. I think it was Monday, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Monday.
On our date night. We go there on our
look
date
at
night
this.
sometimes.
It's the Hydromate water bottle.
All right, hold on. Because do you have a regular size water bottle? Because it's hard to tell on screen the exact size of that.
Here.
Ooh, do the red cup. Everybody knows what size the red cup is.
Here you go. Put them side by side.
Got to do it side by side.
Yeah, there you go.
It is crazy.
There you go. Plus, I've got one here as well.
Wow. That's like a keg of water.
It's a gallon, right?
It's a preacher's keg. That's what it is.
Oh my gosh. No, that would be full of grape juice.
There you go. So this thing, it holds a gallon, is what it holds. It's set up to where you're supposed to drink a gallon a day. And see, it's got you starting there at 8 a.m. So ready, set, go. And then it says at 10, you've got it. At noon, keep drinking. At 2, you're halfway there. At 4, no excuses. At 6 p.m., a little bit more. At 8 p.m., you made it. I will tell you, I have not achieved that goal with this thing. I have not drank a whole gallon of water in one day. But I do get it in about 2 days. So I'm drinking about a half a gallon a day since I got this. And so I didn't get it Monday. Did I?
Yeah, because that was our date night.
Because this is my second gallon now.
Well, you took Monday to drink 1 and 2. I don't know. That's a lot of water.
I think we went over the weekend too, didn't we?
I got the same one from my son, Nick.
All right.
Oh, really? There you go. It's awesome. I went to their website and they got all kinds of water bottles and stuff. I never heard of Hydromate. It's hydromate.com. You can go on there and it's got my little handle there and it's got the little straw. It's wonderful. I love it.
Fill it up. You put 2 of them side by side, and you could do like dumbbell presses. You know.
Oh, there you go. Ooh, yes.
A gallon of water.
You drink, the lighter it gets.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh my.
Just wanted to show you guys that because you may see me pick it up and drink water from time to time, and I didn't want the size of that to freak you out or anything. All right. We got another question, Joe. And this is it. Was Jesus really white looking with long hair and a beard? I have seen somewhere that Greeks influenced his appearance, and in the early days when an image of Jesus was drawn, he was depicted to have short curly brown hair and a beard, and that is why he had to be pointed out when he was arrested. That is a great question because you will see so many different pictures and depictions of Jesus, and you're like, oh, which one is correct? Typically, what we see is the long, beautiful, flowing hair, the beard. Oftentimes, depictions of Jesus is with those piercing blue eyes and all this stuff. And mentioned in that question, I heard that this was from Greek influence. And the pictures we typically see of Jesus, absolutely, yes, have been influenced by the Greeks. It's been influenced by the Roman Catholic Church. It had a huge influence when Constantine made Christianity legal, and then even later, the national religion of the Roman Empire. And so they wanted this depiction of Jesus. We really don't have any drawings, and obviously not any pictures, because they didn't have cameras back then. But there were some drawings of people from back then, but we don't have any of Jesus any earlier than, say, like the 300s. And those were like carved on stone and stuff like that. It's not really easy to tell the features of Jesus. But it was from this influence of the Roman culture that we began to get this depiction of Jesus that's similar to what we have today. And the reason being is because they had these depictions of mythological gods like Zeus and many of those. And they had these flowing beards. They had long flowing hair. And they felt like if Jesus was going to be the national religion now, then we need to depict him similar to the way we do these mythological gods. And that is where they got this depiction or this picture of Jesus. But I can pretty much guarantee you that Jesus did not look like most of the pictures that we have. Okay? There was a drawing done several years ago that was taken from some skeletons that were found and stuff like that of a typical Galilean man, which is what Jesus probably would have looked like, a typical Jewish Galilean man. And we even read in the prophets, I think it's Isaiah, where it says that Jesus was not necessarily a handsome guy. He was not the kind of guy that you would look upon and think, oh, well, what a good looking person. It really insinuates he might have been kind of homely looking. Do we use that term on Long Island? Homely?
I don't know.
We use that term in Kentucky, homely. It's somebody that's, they're not necessarily ugly, but they're just kind of plain and you know, they don't stand out. They don't stand out. They're not the kind of person you look at and go, wow, I want to marry that person, you know? And that's probably what Jesus looked like, to be honest with you. And there's this depiction that's been made from that ancient Galilean skeleton of a typical Galilean man. Now, again, this is just an interpretation. It's not an exact thing or anything like that. But this is something similar to what Jesus may have looked like. We're going to bring it up on the screen.
Let's see. All right, hold on. Let me change it around to where. Well, nope. I'm going to bounce y'all around. Do you feel like a couple of basketballs yet? Okay. Is that like as big as I can get it?
Can you bring it up for the full screen just real quick and then bring us back up? Is that possible?
I can hide Joe, but I'm not sure I can hide you. I'm not sure they can still hear you. I think, okay. Like that? Or, maybe we
that makes it a little bigger.
Here.
Oh, yeah, there we go. I don't know.
I'm not sure they can hear you.
I'm not sure you can hear me right now. I think maybe you can. So we just wanted to show that. We're not going to leave it up long. We just wanted to show that. You can bring us back up now if you want to.
I think we lost Joe.
Did we lose Joe?
I didn't get rid of him. I promise. He didn't tick me off for nothing.
Right, Tammy's not on top of her game tonight.
I know, right?
But that's okay because...
Oh, Erica said she could hear you.
99% of the time, none of this would take place if it was. None of this would take place without her anyway. Even with the glitches, It wouldn't happen without her. So we'll accept a glitch every now and then.
Thank you.
With that.
Thank you.
So that's a depiction of a typical Galilean man during that time period. So Jesus probably would have looked something like that. During that time. Now, some of the earliest depictions that we have of Jesus in the early 300s, he is clean shaven in those depictions. He probably did have a beard because Jewish teachers typically did. Plus, we even read in the prophecies where some of the torture and abuse that Jesus would receive leading up to his crucifixion would be that they were pulling on his beard or even plucking out parts of his beard. And so Jesus probably did have a beard, even though some depictions of him show him being clean shaven. But the thing, even those depictions, they didn't know. They were just guessing, because it's almost 300 years removed from Jesus, and they didn't have any pictures of him before that. And some people seem to think that maybe, hey, there's Joe, he's back.
He's back.
I thought you'd run back off to the hospital, Joe.
No.
I didn't do it. I didn't do it. Wasn't my thing.
Yeah, I don't know what happened, but
We'll blame it on Tammy.
It wasn't me this time.
She's probably going to blame it on my tabs.
It's only when you. It probably is. Your whole computer is shut down because it drained the memory trying to keep that much.
That's all right.
I'm just saying. All right. Oh, here's. Hold on. Here's Erica. You got a question.
All right.
Okay. So I know BC and AC was before Christ or after Christ, but what was it when he was alive? Oh, that's a really good question.
That is a great question, and just clarity on that, we have BC and AD. It's not AC, it's AD. BC means before Christ. AD does not mean after Christ or after death. It actually means in the year of our Lord. You even see that written out sometimes, like in legal documents and stuff like that. It'll say 2022 in the year of our Lord. Or maybe have it even before, in the year of our Lord 2022, because that's what AD means. It's a Latin term. Remind me again. Anno Domini. Anno Domini is the word. It's a Latin term, and it means in the year of our Lord. What they had at that time was, to be honest with you, I would have to look that up. I'm not sure what kind of calendar system they had. I know the Jewish people had a calendar system, and to some extent you could parallel that with our system, but it's not an exact parallel. And I've actually got a list somewhere of the names of the different Jewish months during this time period, and so I will write down, and we can go through some of that with them. But the Jewish culture had a calendar all of their own. Now, this would have been separate from the Roman calendar at this time. And that was one of the problems during this time period, is that each culture had kind of their own little calendar that measured time, whereas the calendar we have today is predominantly accepted by the majority of the world. And so you could look at the Jewish calendar and say, okay, this is the way the Jewish people and the Hebrews measured time. And then you would look at a Roman calendar and go, oh, this is how the Romans measured time and dates and stuff like that. And so we can, again, to get more in depth with that, I would have to research it some. And we could do that next week. I think that would be interesting.
Right, Tommy. Just to jump on there too, when it's Anno Domini, Anno meaning Anno the year, annual, and then Domini meaning God, or in this case Jesus. And when we say the year of the Lord, AD begins the day that Jesus was born. So it's that when he was 33, it was 33 AD.
Right. At least that was the intention. We know now that we didn't get that perfect when they set that up, but the intention was through evaluating, trying to figure out exactly when Jesus was born. Now, we do not know the exact year in that, but we do know enough now to know that it wasn't at 0 BC.
Exactly.
It was probably somewhere between 4 and 7 BC in that, but it was pretty close in there. With the time. But yeah, Joe, thanks for giving us those exact meanings of those two Latin terms there. We've got about 2.5 minutes left. Joe, you got any closing remarks for us?
No, again, it's just good to be back here. Hey, I mentioned it on the announcements on Sunday, but for those that are online that maybe weren't at Sunday, and I don't know there were anyone, but mark on your calendars May 22nd. May 22nd is going to be our annual church picnic. It is a fantastic time for us to get together in fellowship. It was a beautiful day last year, and it's going to be another one this year. So again, February 22nd. Mark it on your calendar.
Not February 22nd.
Did I say February?
You did that. You did just now. The first time you said the correct. What is it? May?
Yeah, we're not going to wait till February 22nd. We'll do it in May. Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks, brother.
May 22nd. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I thought last year's was a blast, and it was something that we needed. It was really our first big get together since all the quarantine stuff, and people loved it.
And it went so well, we just want to do it again.
We want to do it again. We want to do it. And the ice cream truck was a huge hit.
It was.
I loved it. I loved it.
Well, we're going to have to do that again. We're going to have to do
Absolutely.
that again.
Absolutely. Hey, guys, thank you for being on here. We apologize for some of our glitches today. We will try to work those out and have a little smoother episode next time. But thank you all for your input, for your questions. Keep those questions coming because that's what drives the show. Okay, we're able to address these questions, and it's questions that maybe somebody hasn't thought of, or maybe questions you have thought of that you just didn't ask, but you're interested in knowing the answer to. And so we appreciate your questions. Never feel like it's a dumb question or it's a silly question or anything like that. Every question is not just a good question, a great question. And that's what it's the fuel for this show, all the questions that you have. So we appreciate you guys sharing those with us. Hey, we are going to continue our series on Sunday, the good, the bad, and the ugly, as we go through the First Corinthians, Paul's first letter to the Corinthian church. We're going to be looking at chapters 11 and 12 this upcoming week. I encourage you to read those ahead of time. It's going to be in chapter 11. He talks about communion and the significance of communion. When we get over to chapter 12, we're going to be talking about spiritual gifts. We've talked about some of those things in the past, especially last year when we were talking about do something and getting plugged into your ministry. But this chapter digs into that, probably more so than any other chapter in the Bible. So we're going to be looking at that again, and maybe even a little deeper than we have in the past with that. So look forward to seeing you guys Sunday, either in-house or online. And let me just encourage you, it's great in-house. It's great online. I know that. I've experienced that. But when you get to be in there with the people that love you and care about you, and they're so happy to see you, and you just see the brightness on their faces. If you live locally, we encourage you to come and experience that. It's just an amazing thing to be a part of. Even if you missed out on mine and Joe's preaching, just being there to be with the people is worth the trip to come there. And so, Joe and I, we thank you for the opportunity to be able to share a little bit while you're there. We love you guys. Have a great week, and we hope to see you on Sunday.
Thank you for joining us.